children of the earth, welcome from all four corners of the universe, apparently. Oh my gosh.
At least Texas.
At least.
At least 4 corners of Texas. And
Yes.
you've seen her all weekend, Miss Alison Sudol.
There's a lot of you today. Hi. Thank you so much for waiting so early. I heard some of you were here since 7:30. Who was here at 7:30? Wow. Thank you. Man.
You're all staying in my hotel, aren't you? You were all on the line at the coffee shop. The hell, I should go to the coffee shop now.
They're all there.
This is the time.
They're all there.
This is the time,
So what's really interesting to me is that you guys have been part of now this global phenomenon with the premieres and the thousands of people cheering when you get out of cars, and yet you're still both amazed at and humbled, it seems, by this incredible crowd. So what is it? What is it that you think is keeping it so real for you?
Oh, I mean, life keeps it pretty real. I have a puppy. Yeah, thank you. So, like, you know, I mean, she pooped in the middle of the lobby of the hotel. That keeps it pretty real. Yeah, that's my dog. She did, like, right on the marble floor.
Quiet down, just like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
What did they do? Did they just come running out?
They did. I mean, like, no, I had a bag.
It's totally fine. It's
No,
totally fine.
I had a bag. I'm a responsible pet owner. It was just, you know, it's surreal.
But you both expressed a little bit of nerves for greeting a crowd like this, and that was surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people here. And it's beautiful. It's all, and you know, it's all Harry Potter themed, and it's so. I mean, this is it right here. And you see the fandom, and it's fast, and it's lovely. It's lovely, isn't it?
It's really lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, I always get nervous before I go on stage. Like, you know, as a musician and stuff, I always think I'm gonna throw up right before I go.
Really?
Yeah, and I also go, I don't know the lyrics. I don't know the lyrics. I don't know the lyrics to any of my songs. I don't know how to play piano. I don't know how to do it. Then I go on stage and I'm like, I'm gonna die. And then I don't. So, yeah.
Does the dog help you stay calm?
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this is wild, man. I feel like crowd surfing or something.
Warner Brothers would kill us.
Also, there's a lot of space right there, so that...
Jacob's giving it all up. He's going to work with the Leaky cauldron.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, I didn't even catch that yesterday. I was so nervous. I didn't even notice the giant cauldron. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Made from the metal of the Liberty Bell.
Nick Cage is our next guest.
That would be crazy.
Right though? Must save Ginny Weasley. All right.
Next,
So-
you said Nick Cage.
So I want to take it back to the beginning of this process for both of you.
Cool.
Can you go through the casting process for Fantastic Beasts?
You got casted first.
I got casted first. Well, not actually, no, not technically.
Really?
Well, I mean, maybe a few days, but
So yeah, technically.
Well, technically. I mean, no, it wasn't, yeah, it's like if we're twins and I'm the one that came out first, but it's not really that a head start. Awkward twins. That's really weird. Yeah.
It's like the movie Twins.
Yeah.
You get all the good genes.
Does that mean I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger? Naturally. No, I auditioned, I didn't even actually think that I was auditioning for the Potter verse. I just was told by this extraordinary casting director, Fiona Weir, who was in London. She's like, there's this project, and it's the people that did Harry Potter, and I'm going to need you to sign an NDA. And I said, okay, and what is this about? And then she said it was about witches, and I thought it was about like Salem, you know. And then she told me about this character Queenie, and I fell in love with her and her empathy and her warmth, and anyway, like came back the next day and basically felt like I just ruined the audition. Like I was like, I'm never. I knew by this time that it was for the Potterverse, and then I started to lose my mind because I'm a big Potter fan. And then I thought I should never act again after that audition. And then a few weeks later, got a call that there was going to be a screen test in New York, and I didn't know what that was. And it turns out that what it was like a process of like, we were all in a hotel room, and then they would bring us in and they would have us have chemistry reads with all the other actors, but Dan wasn't there yet. Anyway, so that was 2 days in a hotel, and then went to England. They still weren't sure about me.
But that was like my favorite story, is the one where you and Catherine are braiding each other's hair.
Oh yeah, I mean that was I think I told that yesterday. I don't know if anybody was here yesterday. I don't want to come back. I don't want to be like one of those people that tells the same story.
Right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll tell it in my panel. If anyone wants to know.
Thank you, Dan. Anyway, so they brought me to England, and they tried like 1,000 wigs on me to see if I could be Queenie, basically. And in that process, the very last day of my screen testing, when I didn't know that I had the role yet, they brought you in. And you were wearing like gloves. You were wearing like cut-off gloves, and you had like crazy beard. You looked like a furry like hobbit. But like, you were magical. You were really wonderful and so charming. And well, he was covered with hair. There was like long hair on the head. There was hair on the face, and all I could see were these like eyes.
And I'm short and I have gigantic feet.
but Dan's timing. Yeah, you were great. And
Thanks.
the chemistry was there. That's a long story. Your turn.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
It wasn't that long.
It felt long.
Oh, I remember my screen test, and you were there, and you were all in black.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you had black hair.
Yeah.
And I met you, and I thought you looked like B.B. Newworth. You guys know who that is? Yeah. She looked like B.B. Newworth from like Cheers days or something. And I was like, holy shenanigans. And I was, right away I was just like, man, this is a lovely looking individual. And then also met Eddie that day for a screen test. And what I noticed about him, that he was like 9 feet tall. And he was so lovely,
yeah.
Wasn't he? It was just like, I'm as nervous as you are right now, and I really want this to work as much as you do. And then just the last time I saw him was, as Stephen Hawking. That was such a cool thing. I had this costume I put together that I kept with me from the first audition all the way through the screen test until David Yates was like, okay, no more hat. Take off the fingerless glove stand. Because I thought that's like Chaplin era tramp kind of thing. That's what I was.
Yeah, it was more tramp than Hobbit. I'm sorry I said Hobbit. I mean, forever. I love Tolkien, like I do. but like, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't mean it.
That shall pass. Wait. Wrong franchise. So I had this costume. Yeah, that put me right in character. But it was like, obviously, wrong. Thank you. It was wrong! Sorry.
Always helpful.
Yeah.
That was a really good David Yates impression, by the way.
Oh, who? Oh, David Yates.
Yeah.
Love David.
He's the best.
He's got a little, fabby. I love that.
What does that mean?
Penultimate one.
Fabulous.
Oh, fabulous.
Yes.
He likes it. Fabby. Let's do another one. And, yeah. I don't know how he directed you, but he'd come in and just be like, damn, I love it, it's fabby. Take it down 80%. Okay, so wait, did he like it? I can't tell.
Did you like 20% of it?
Yes.
Did you find that happening somewhat with this whole British crew and British aesthetic and British blockbuster franchise, and now a bunch of Americans are coming in and we are a little bit larger? We are in personality.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're English, so take it down a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think also he's got this wonderful ability. He's dealing with like huge sets and like, you know, the Beast doing wild, mad things everywhere, and sometimes like hundreds and hundreds of extras, but he always brings it back down to the heart of these characters and to the intimacy of the moment. So sometimes, you know, you can, as an actor, you can like be in this place and you think, I have to be, you know, I gotta be razzle dazzle, you know, I gotta be great. And he's like, you know, just be still. You're fine, you know. And that's actually just a really heartening thing as an actress to be like, oh, okay, I don't have to try and match the size of this. I just have to be real and human and or human with a witch type of edge for some of us, magical ones. What was it? It's a sore spot for Dan that he doesn't get a wand.
It'd be like this all weekend, isn't it?
There are lots of wands in the marketplace. We're gonna go get you a wand.
Do not give him a wand. It's a nomad.
Hermione was a nomad, wasn't she?
She was mother-born.
Mother-born.
Oh yeah, this is the right crowd to do this.
Come on!
She was mother-born, but she is a witch.
Right, mother-born. All right. So,
Look, Queenie loves Jacob, okay? Just the way he is.
thank you.
Do you think? You guys are cute. Queenie's empathy is so present and touching, and like you just said, Queenie loves Jacob just as he is. Do you think that was because of the things she's able to feel and see that she knew that immediately, or is it a warming up process?
I think from the moment that, I mean, she's got an excellent gauge of who someone is because she can read them, and she really can tell when someone is a good person, and Jacob is just wonderful through and through and such a deeply large-hearted individual, so I think that's very clear. And Dan is also such a wonderful person. I don't think this character would have the same heart played by someone else.
Does she well, she hears people's thoughts, right? Does she see, so she just hears all of his thoughts at once, and she's just like, he thinks nice.
Is that your impression?
Yes. No, not at all.
most telling things is when she says, like, people don't normally think that when they first see me. And as a woman, especially now as we're all talking more freely about the things that women go through, she must be at a real nexus point of all of that in a way that nobody else experiences. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it was an really interesting thing to tap into because, you know, on the one hand, she appears to be this very free-spirited, very lighthearted individual, but I mean, imagine if you could hear what everybody thought immediately, and you're a woman who, you know, doesn't want to be ashamed of her body. She isn't. She's not self-conscious, so she gets, you know, a lot of thoughts that are very difficult to not like completely turn in upon yourself and just crumble, and it shows how strong of a spirit that she is, that she's still so warm and loving, but it does, I think, make her a little bit lonely because she has to protect herself a little bit, and that's also Tina, you know, is very protective of her. But yeah, I mean, it's tough as a woman. It's tough even like, you know, the things that people say or the looks that people can be a bit intense sometimes, you know. I realized recently, like, there's a reason why I don't wear shorts or skirts, like short skirts, out of the house. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Sorry, that was heavy. However, I'm starting to do it more because I'm like, whatever.
Can you tell me about, to go back a little bit to the scene that you guys tested with each other, can you tell me about what that was like and what your impressions were of each other's characters as you started to get to know them?
From that first screen test, yeah, I was looking at the decor. I was like, damn, this is...
Got a chandelier? Were you fans of the opera?
That's right.
It's the Leaky Cauldron, we're in it.
That's awesome. Yeah, we had to audition with a scene that has morphed, right? So the scene that we had in the screen test, it was kind of like a Jacob goodbye thing, but I can forget the reason why he had to go, or he wasn't allowed to enter somewhere because he was a Mongol.
Yeah, I don't think we were allowed. We didn't have the script yet, so we didn't really
Yeah.
know. We just knew that it was a goodbye.
Yeah, so it was a very emotional goodbye scene between the two of us, and I just noticed that, she just, you know, you can tell chemistry right away, really, if it's working or not. Just, you know, between you. I don't know, I felt good about it. You know, I felt good about that, I felt good about Eddie. Like, I came out of that audition going, shit, I did my best there, I did a really good job, and I felt like, yeah, I connected with these people. They auditioned everybody in Hollywood, you know, for my
I did
part.
screen tests with everybody.
With everyone.
Yeah, but everybody brought a different quality. It was really interesting. They were just trying to find like the magical chemistry between us four. You had this physicality as well as like physical comedy side, and it's a complicated character, Jacob, in that like there has to be this sensitivity and this vulnerability, but it's deep. It's not like something that is like that he leads with. It's just part of who he is. And then there has to be the facility, the physical comedy, and the lightness, and then the strength, and the sweetness, and it's actually like a really fine line there that you watch. It's like you're like, what? Yeah, that's what I do. You know, it was amazing because that actually is like. It's a very particular combination of qualities, and I noticed immediately that you were like really confident and at ease in that, and that was really cool. And you made me laugh like right off the bat. You were just so funny and continued to do that through the film, and that was also really nice to have behind the scenes. You know, especially if you get in your head, like you were just making up spells. Would you like to share a spell? Perhaps?
I love talking about me. I love you. Talk about my character in front of all of these people.
Started to see what you mean about the physicality.
Physicality, yeah, no, he's not comfortable in his body at all. He's clearly a very shy and retiring person.
Or the other guys, I guess they were a little anxious.
Well, there's just like there's different things that you can like focus on within the character, and like it felt like that was a really nice balance, and it clearly translated on screen as well.
It's awesome.
I think I was kind of like not that nice to you though. I feel like I remember
you were a real jerk.
I thought I was a jerk because like it was something like
right,
you just gotten in, and it was my last day on the speaking test, and I was like so worn out, and I was like, I don't know, they just keep putting me through these things, and I don't even know if I'm gonna get the role, and I'm getting so upset. And you were like, oh, I got in like late last night or something, and I was like, yeah, well, wait till 4 o'clock comes around. Jet lag's gonna be rough. I'm so sorry. Like he's doing a screen test today. Like what a mean, horrible person I am. Yeah.
I was in my own world.
You were. Thank God. You don't even remember that, do you? It was like horrible for me, and you just seemed to like roll off your back.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But like so magical. You know, she's like, you look at her and you're just like, oh, yeah, she's glowing. You know, she's very, and then, you know, some people have that quality, some people don't. You know, Meryl Streep has that quality. Luminescent skin, people. You have an effervescent soul that shines through your luminescent skin.
My word. Thanks, Dan.
Lovely. So once you guys got going and the chemistry started building into a working relationship, what was it like on set? Can you tell us any fun stories about working together or that you haven't had a chance to tell publicly?
What about the Christmas carols? Remember that? At the department store. I had the stomach flu, and it was that department store scene, which is now really short, but where we're all trying to catch the demigods, and then Newt's like, you know, just try not to be predictable. And anyways, behind the scenes, the whole thing was decorated for Christmas, and it was so beautiful. And Dan and I were a little bit loopy because it had been like we were in Liverpool and we were super tired, and so we started singing Christmas carols like non-stop. Probably like annoying to other people at a certain point, but we were having such a good time.
Dancing?
Oh, and dancing. Yeah. Oh, that's not very funny. That wasn't a funny story. It's supposed to be a funny story. It was just a
How much?
story.
There's so much in that. That's hysterical because so much of that scene was shot. We destroyed Macy's department store, and none of it made it into the movie.
You were in an actual Macy's in Liverpool?
Well, it was a department store, but they made it
Some sort of
look like
department
1920s Macy's.
Sure.
I don't know if it was actually Macy's, but the scene
Probably not
is.
Liverpool.
The scene is.
Yeah, band on Big Bases. It was like it was just an old building, but they completely dressed it. I actually don't even think it was a department store period. I think that they've dressed it
Like a warehouse?
you know, the set design.
And you guys just smashed
Destroyed it.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah, so the scene you can see in the DVD extras there's a scene when the demigod is invisible, he's running around the apartment, he's smashing it and stuff, and then I'm like, Newt, I got him, and he's running right at me, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna catch him. And I catch him, and I grab his tail, and then there's this just invisible munchkin dragging me, you know, through the whole department store. And that was probably the most fun I had, just being in this, like, you know, the wire, with the harness just being dragged around, smashing into things in the apartment. And then there was a lovely moment that never made it in there either, which was, you know, the demigod guys, he's like all flipped out, and he's like, we're surrounding him, he's like, oh my God, what do I do? And he freaks out, and the only person he really thinks he can go to is Jacob. Because he sees that same nice guy thing. Nice guy. And then there's this lovely little, and then you see later, he's on my back, you know, but there's that moment where then the guy's like, and like it's hugging me like it's like a little chimpanzee or something. I'm like, it's okay, buddy, it's okay. That never made it in.
But it was fun.
It was, yeah, there's, you know, so many, each scene has so many beautiful little JK written delightful bits, you know, that you hope make it into, like the best makes it into the film, and you hope the other stuff makes it onto the DVD extras because it was just so delightful. Love that scene, same scene, the hat.
Oh yeah.
Where
we're talking about all these things. You're like, what?
Getting dragged.
Is that my DVD extra?
I think it is. I'm getting dragged. They all know it. I'm getting dragged, and I fly into the hat racks.
Yeah.
And you come up and you're like, you okay? And I put the hat on. I was like, I'm fine.
So debonair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never made it in.
Jacob's a smooth character, though. He is. He's very sweet.
He's smooth. You say smooth or sweet?
Sweet and smooth.
Sweet and smooth.
That is a smooth move.
He's like margarine.
Not everybody says that.
No, he's butter. He's definitely
Butter. Yes. I think this is gonna be on. What other stuff that you wish would have made it in? What other bits do you think?
I mean, that was kind of the main one. I mean, Catherine and I did this song, the Silver Morning song, and I got to co-write the song with J.K. Rowling, which was crazy. You know,
Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, there was this moment, and understandably it didn't make it into the film because we are like chasing, we have important things to do, and then like stopping for a musical number is probably like in the grand scheme of things like a little bit questionable. But we, you know, because Eddie says that Hogwarts is the best wizarding school in it, and of course that's hogwash. To Queenie. And anyway, so they sing this song that they used to sing at their school, and it was just for me, because Catherine and I really felt that it was very important to have this sisterly relationship, but in a lot of the film we don't get to be together, so that was a moment for us, and any moment that we were all together, frankly, like all four of us, was really special, and that was just it was just fun. And we had these little like school uniforms at one point. I don't think we're wearing them in the DVD, but we like wore actual like little school uniforms and sang, and it was just like it was a cute moment, and it was a sweet moment for all of us, I think. It's nice.
Yeah, I want to be a wizard. That was from that.
Yeah, that was your line too.
Yeah.
The choo-choo says.
You're a singer. Would Jacob and Queenie ever possibly have a duet together? You both have musical history.
I'd like that.
Can we plant the idea
I think
now?
that'd be cool.
It's not impossible. I don't know if in the film it would ever work, but maybe we would do something just for fun one day, just because it would be fun. Consider the seed planted. Thank you.
Excellent. We'll take whenever it shows up one day. We'll say, it happened at the duet. Just a note: we are going to be taking audience questions, so this is the cue for Mike to get set up. We may not get to everybody, but yeah. Can you guys? What are your houses again?
In real life?
What are
you like my
house
house?
and your Hogwarts house, or your Ilvermorny house?
And the Horned Serpent.
Yeah.
Small contingent. Yeah, I think I'd be Gryffindor. Slightly larger portion. What about you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a Hufflepuff in my heart. I put it online, I think on Pottermore. I was a Hufflepuff. And then for Ilvermorny, I was like Puck Wudgie.
It's not an exact overlay, but it's very common
It's very
for
similar,
Hufflepuffs
right?
and Puck Wudgies to happen.
I love how Puck Wudgie basically has the name Wedgie, you know. But then I went to the tour, and I had the hat, and it said Gryffindor.
It's random on the tour. Put on the hat and press the button.
That's true.
Pottermore is probably your closer bet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I think the Hufflepuff has now officially claimed you.
All right, no problem.
But that's very Jacob, though. I feel like Jacob would be a Hufflepuff.
Oh, yeah. 50 points to Hufflepuff!
You're doing what?
Taking me into the house. I was cold. And eating cookies.
So before we go to audience questions, can you tell us about your non-Potter related projects? What's happening next for you guys?
Wow. Oh. There's a lot happening. I'm on The Walking Dead. I'm playing a character named Luke. Season 9. It's gonna be intense, man.
Yeah.
Right around the time that the movie comes out, my Walking Dead episodes are gonna be on the air.
Alive or I have never watched The Walking Dead, so is every other...
It's okay. This is hysterical. Everybody, I don't know, it's not now. Everybody who either watches the show or doesn't watch the show, when I tell them that I've been on the show, they're like, "You're a zombie?" They're like, "No, I'm a survivor."
I just feel like a lot, like are you gonna,
Everyone eventually dies.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you gonna eat some brains? Ew.
Could be Shaun of the Dead style, I don't know.
Yeah, I got a bunch of comic books that I have coming out. Brooklyn Gladiator and Moon Lake. New York Comic Con is going to be, if you guys are in New York, around New York Comic Con is going to be huge.
The first week of October.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, but yeah, what you got going on?
It's very exciting.
It is exciting.
I have music coming out next month for the first time in many years, so I'm very, very, very excited for that. It's been a long time, and I started a label with my longtime manager, a very good friend, and we are putting out the music together, and yeah, it's very close to my heart, and I'm going to be very, very slowly starting to play shows. It's been, I hit a pretty big block with a lot of things, so I'm very gently moving back into that, and that's kind of it. I mean, I've been writing scripts and things, and then like raising a dog, puppy dog.
Your song Moon, right?
Yeah.
It's on, you can hear that on...
Enough Honey.
What is it?
Enough Honey is out.
Enough Funny is out.
Enough Honey, yeah.
Yeah.
That one's out, that came out. It's funny.
Enough Funny.
Enough Honey is already out, yeah. And I used to go by a Find Frenzy, but now it's just under my name. It's just Alison Sudol, so yeah, that's it. I mean, that's it, but it's big for me.
And if you like this, she came on my show, the Dan Fogler 40 Experience podcast. And it's just us having a good time and
that was so fun.
Talking about behind the scenes stuff, and check that out as well. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll take our first question. Tell us your name, your house, and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Caitlin DeStefano. I'm a Hufflepuff.
Hi.
I'm from East Texas, and I was just wondering, what was y'all's favorite scene to film together?
Oh wow. I'll say what the first thing comes to my mind is that rain scene. That scene was just like,
That was probably my favorite.
yeah. I mean, so lovely and emotional, and for like a sad clown actor, that I am, that, you know, everything like was leading up to that scene, at least in my mind. And then to actually get to perform it with her, I think it was just like one of those scenes you watch it now, and it's with the rain and the umbrella, and oh my God, and it's like, it's very romantic, like classic, like Hollywood movie making. I'm so honored to be part of that. Yeah.
That was powerful. I'd say mine was the opposite. It was when we first met.
Yeah.
In the sister's apartment, in our apartment, because we were just, first of all, it was like so early in filming. It was the first time we all got together, and it was the first time that Queenie sees Jacob, and there was just something so sweet about it, you know, just like the delight and like wonder, and he was all sweaty, like so sweaty. But like they kept just adding more and more sweat. They were like, more sweat, more sweat. But it was such a sweet moment, and it really cemented the chemistry for us four together, but especially our two little love story type things. Our two love stories? No, there's one. I mean, there are two, but it's two. Yeah.
They know because there's in the Fantastic Beasts book that we all own, it says that Newt and Tina have been married for X many years. It's in the little footnote. So unless they're changing the canon,
we don't know how they're gonna get there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So don't feel like you know,
Blowing something up.
blown something big. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sydney. I am a Ravenclaw. And I'm from McKinney, Texas.
Awesome.
Welcome.
And so, if you think that Queenie and Jacob had gone to Hogwarts, Jacob being a magic person, what house do you think Queenie and Jacob would be in?
I had JK told me what house Jacob was in, or Jacob would be in, and she said, and I thought she was gonna say Hufflepuff, and she said Gryffindor. Because he's a soldier, he's a fighter.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I actually don't know, and I feel like that's something that I would, if I said it, I don't know, like that's like, yeah, I don't mess with the truth. However, I think that whatever house Jacob was in, Queenie would probably be kind of sidling up to. Whatever one it was, I think she'd find herself in the common room saying, hi.
Oh my God. It's nice. Nice and warm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Of course.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Teresa. I'm a Gryffindor from Iowa.
No. Wow. Is there not a lot of Gryffindors around here?
Gryffindor?
All right, here we go.
So I'm asking my question on behalf of my daughter who was not able to come because she's far more responsible than I am. She has a little bit of a weird fascination with Eddie Redmayne.
I don't know if that's weird. Yeah. That's pretty normal. We all love him.
I wonder if there might be a story that you could share about him. You know, that kind of thing you can't always find on that fan site. Some of your insights on working with him. Thank you for being here, by the way.
Of course.
Yeah, sure.
I can say that there was a scene on this most recent piece, which I cannot say anything about, unfortunately, except that it's very exciting. But there was a scene that I was in that was really quite an emotional scene, and it was quite hard on me. And sometimes, well, actually, a lot of the time, you know, like you do something and then you go out of your comfort zone, and then you aren't sure if like it was good or if it was awful. And I came to the makeup trailer to get like stuff off, and Eddie came out and he had watched the scene, and I was really down on myself and really sad. And he just said, you know, that was some of the best acting I've seen, and you're so wonderful. And you know, and I was like, oh, I'm just, you know, I just don't know. And he was like, I feel the same way family too, and when I do these things, and that's just part of it. And just as an actor who I respect so much, to say like he is also in the same boat, and he also doubts himself, and you know, and he hugged me, and he was just such a good friend. So like he's an extraordinary actor, but he's also just a very, very, very good person, really good person, and a really good friend.
Yeah, gentlemen.
Before I get to the next question, can I ask you, I know you can't say anything obviously about what happens in the next film, but can you comment at all about the way that your characters are developing? Are they changing at all in ways that you can share? Without obviously getting yourself in trouble.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, it's developing. The movie is darker. They're further along in their relationship, so you can imagine it gets more complex. Now there's a question of how did they get back together again? I mean, you see them at the end of the first movie, and it's just like, oh yeah, I know you. And so now, you know, obviously they spent some time together between then and the movie.
Alison.
It's totally vague. It's totally vague. They've obviously been spending some time together. So, and there's the whole dark cloud of they're not supposed to be together.
Yes.
And they are. So there's a lot of stress that comes with that. You know, your relationship is put under stress because of that. So there's a lot of drama coming. I didn't say anything.
That looks really fun, but I just don't think I can do that.
Do what?
What you just did. You should try.
Talk about it. You're like it. They want you to claim the stage. Claim it.
No. Oh my God, that was terrifying.
As is my butt.
I don't know why I turned around. I went up and just turned around.
For what it's worth, the popular fan theory is that seeing Queenie again breaks the spell, breaks the thing. You don't have to say a thing.
Oh, just seeing their loveliness. Did we answer your question?
I jumped in. Sorry. She's been so patient.
My name's Lexi. I'm from Midlothian, Texas, and I'm a proud Gryffindor. My question was, what are your favorite creatures and spells from the Potterverse?
My favorite creatures and spells from the Potterverse are... I love ridiculous. Because, you know, obviously that's so fun. So I point at someone and you can laugh at them. And then creatures. That demiguise, man, I think he's cool. I think he's got a lot of powers and he's super smart. I think he'd make just like a great pal. Not even a pet, a pal.
He's your buddy.
Yeah.
I love the Niffler, and I think if you guys are here, and I have my own baby Niffler because she literally just takes this morning it was a slipper, just she's just gone. Anything that she's not, or scrunchies, and I do have scrunchies, which is embarrassing, but she loves them. So yeah, she's like this. So I have a Niffler, but I would have a second Niffler to entertain my real Niffler. And you know, I don't know if it's considered a spell, but I mean maybe it's a spell. I'm sorry that I don't remember this, and you guys are all gonna correct me and be like, no, wrong. But you remember when Hermione needed to be in two places at once, and so she was doing. What is it?
The time turner?
Yes. Is that considered? Does that count?
It's not really considered a magical object.
Okay. But I want it. So I'm gonna But yeah, my brain otherwise is like, all the spells. I don't remember spells. Spells.
That was my favorite one. That's Azkaban, right?
Huh?
Azkaban.
Yeah.
I love that part when she's just all, is that what my hair looks like?
Yeah, such a human moment. For what it's worth, there's the Patronus charm is very popular as well.
Ooh,
Oh.
yes, and mine is a white stallion. Oh, okay. And a black stallion. I know that you're not supposed to do, and I explained that yesterday. God, I'm just doing the thing where I'm repeating myself all the time.
Mine's a dolphin and a squirrel.
Or a squalfin if they merged.
Painful.
Hi, I'm Candace from Fort Worth, Texas, Gryffindor. So our family just has the biggest crush on both of you. We love you guys, and we watched this one particular scene over and over in Fantastic Beasts. It's in the jazz club, and we love the scene. And we've always wanted to know, I can't believe I'm getting to ask you this. So the scene where, you're asking him if there's anyone else like him, he says there's only one like me, and you take that shot of the giggle water, and you laugh, and our family rewinds the scene over and over and giggles. It looks like y'all are just cracking each other up in this scene. And so we've always wanted to know, was the shot and the giggle really in the script, or did you just do that spontaneously? And can you share anything about that scene, because we just love y'all?
Thanks. Yeah, that was, the giggle water. So, you had the idea that it made me laugh, that giggle water makes no matches laugh, right? Otherwise the entire bar would just be like, so we said, why don't we take the shot and then there's a little burp that's an actual giggle that comes out. That was your idea.
We didn't, thank you. But yeah, I could never have predicted that laugh would come out that way. It's so amazing. We did so many of them, and they were all hilarious. We did like 200 different variations of the giggle, and it was actually a longer scene initially where I got mad at you for something.
Oh, I got mad at you.
Oh, you got mad at me?
Yeah, because you...
Oh yeah, we took that out too.
Yeah, I was all jealous because you kissed the giant to get in.
I did, but they took that out. I kissed the giant because I had to distract him somehow. But I'm glad they took that out because that was not a good move.
I love that bit before that where it's just all, I love house elves. My uncle's a house elf.
I think that was yours.
A lot of little improvs and great. That was the beauty of it. We got to add a bunch.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Dana. I'm a Ravenclaw.
Awesome.
I'm here from Washington, D.C. And my question for you, a lot of us fell in love with the original series. So a little bit of a two-part. What was it like working with J.K. Rowling in her extensive universe? And what's your favorite part from the original series?
It was when we first met Jo. Had you met her before? I can't remember. Hadn't you met her before we all did?
I met her during rehearsals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met her and you want to hear that one?
Yeah.
So it was basically one of the second day rehearsal or something. So I was just freaking out because what are we getting? Here, man, this is awesome. It was just intense, and so that's when I met her, and she was up all night writing. So they put us in this room together, and I saw her, and I was just instantly starstruck, and I was just hi. And I saw that next to her was this script that was as tall as she was, okay? Just standing next to the script. And I was just what? Say something. And I was do I have to memorize all that? And then she said, no. This is everything. Okay, so how I interpreted that in the moment was, that's all 5 movies. She's been working on it since, the first movies, And so in that moment I was just like, oh, you have how Einstein has extra folds for math in his brain? She has them for writing. I'm just short of it. And she gave me some great advice about the character in that one meeting, and she said that Jacob reminds her of Ron. Because, and I was like, oh, that's great, man. She's like, I love Jacob, and I was like, man, he gets to do everything, Ron gets to do everything. He gets to be the clown and the hero, and he gets to have the romantic journey, he gets to, and so I was like, that's great. Thank you. What about you?
I mean, I like all thoughts left my mind when I saw her. I was just
exactly. She's a rock star.
I mean, yeah, she you never expect to meet certain people in your life. You definitely don't expect to meet J.K. Rowling, let alone have her know your name, let alone have her have picked you to be there. I was just like, I can't deal, I can't. And then also we were all sort of standing around her. She came to set on the day of the rain scene, and we were just all very starstruck and standing around like children. And I think Eddie was pacing and just back and forth, and I just couldn't say anything. And that was my first. It took me I think 3 visits before I could have an actual conversation with her. Yeah, but she's got an incredibly powerful presence. She's a real, an incredibly strong woman and really smart and she's a real force to be. I mean, of course she is, right? Of course, but she doesn't disappoint.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. We have time for one more question. I'm so sorry everybody who's been in line.
Oh,
sorry, we're so talking. Oh,
you know what? Let's do 2 because we were a little bit late starting. Is that okay with you guys?
Sure.
2 more questions.
Yeah, totally.
Hi, my name is Allie. I'm a Slytherin
And Queenie.
She's my favorite character. As soon as I saw her on screen, I'm like, I must cosplay her, so I started this from scratch with
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
My question is, what's your favorite part about being on set, and this set in particular, the magic of these grand locations that you guys are, acting at?
I mean, they're so detailed and so beautiful. In our apartment, in the sisters' apartment, I was practicing one day. I was just trying to work out the Sudol ballet because it was really complicated, and I had just gotten my wand a few days before, and so it really did. I mean, the wands that we have as well, they're weighted and they're beautifully handmade and they're stunning. And so I was using my wand, and then out of the corner of my eye, I saw laundry dancing. I was like, oh, what? And I was very slowly turned around, and then I looked up, and there were puppeteers. And I was like, oh. Slightly disappointed, but the details and the fact that there is working magic within the set, so it's not just we're not in some green screen environment. There is some, but there's a lot that is just handmade, and it's really it creates a real atmosphere, and you can really play with it and look at things and pick them up and peruse through books, and they've got writing in it, and so it makes it feel like a real place, so you're actually in this world for real. It's so cool.
Oh, I love seeing them. I mean, I'm from New York, and to see them recreate New York in the 20s is my favorite time, one of my favorite time periods ever, and it was very just surreal because I felt like, my great grandfather was a baker, and he, probably had a store right in the vicinity of where we were setting the scene, and so it was just whoa, I'm in a time warp right now. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Our last question.
Hello.
Hey.
My name is Keely, and I'm a Hufflepuff. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I wanted to know what was the most challenging scene for each of y'all to
You want to go?
No, I have to think about it.
Okay, the most challenging. I think the most challenging was also the most fun, probably, because running from the eruption. I mean, that was intense, right? And it was freezing, and just running on the ice and getting wet, but in my head I was like, I am Indiana Jones running from the boulder and Raiders of the Lost Ark. I was, I was a kid at a candy store, so I mean, physically that was tough. That was a tough couple days, but I had a blast.
I love that scene so much, and I love the Roman so much. I think mine was, when we've spoken about it a bit, but the goodbye scene in the rain. For me, I've always had this fear of being like emotional on camera. Like when I cry all the time in my life, like crying all the time, like anything commercial. But to have to cry and then and bring up all of this emotion again and again, I was very nervous about it. And it was almost like at first things were stuck, and I was having a really hard time like accessing the moment. And then I told Dan some things that were going on with me personally, and just allowed myself to get a bit more present. And that's when something cracked open in me, and I was able to just like feel what was happening and allow myself to feel the sadness of it. And it was also like the thought of ending the movie and like ending the experience, as well, was really hard, but it ended up being very beautiful. But like whenever I see that scene, it actually I feel it. It's like, ow. Me too. Oh.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. A quick note, Alison and Dan will be in the marketplace doing autographs and a joint photograph later today, and I just want to say thank you again. What a delightful hour with you guys.
That was